I freaking love Hades. Hades is a roguelike game made by the developer Supergiant Games, who before Hades made Bastion, a really well-liked game that I still haven't gotten around to playing. It's in my Steam library, I don't know, I haven't played it yet. I will at some point, maybe. Transistor, a game that I don't really know anything about, and Pyre, a talk-em-up sports game that I played and really enjoyed for a bit, but haven't finished. We'll get into that later on in the video. Hades is their most recent entry, and in my mind, it's the closest they've come to creating a masterpiece. In Hades, you play as Zagreus, the rebellious son of Hades, king of the underworld. Zagreus has recently learned that the mother he grew up with is not in fact his birth mother, but a surrogate. And with her help and other beings in the underworld, he attempts to escape his father's domain and be reunited with said birth mother. It's not that easy, however, as the underworld was built to contain the souls of the damned, and the blockades put in place are tough to crack, even for a godling like Zagreus. We won't be delving too much into the story past the initial setup, as I find it's extremely well written and worth playing yourself, so I hope I can convince the three of you out there who haven't played Hades yet to go play it with this video. The story in and of itself isn't anything new. It's intentionally as old as the source material the game draws from. The simple plot allows for an easy to understand motivation and plays well into the roguelike gameplay the game delivers. Set out to find your birth mother, and when you inevitably fail, try again. It's a really natural cycle of going out, trying to escape Hades, dying, returning to the foot of your gloating father's hall, talking to the denizens of the underworld you live with, and then heading out again. And speaking of those denizens you get to talk to, the characters are the lifeblood of the game, and personally my favorite part of the entire experience. Each one of them, except for a few duds here and there, and her, are absolutely dripping with character from their snappy writing and excellent voice acting. You interact with a whole host of underworld or chthonic gods, other denizens of the underworld, and the gods of Mount Olympus. Well, most of them. I don't know, for some reason they're just like missing like 2 or 3 or something, like Hephaestus and Apollo, and someone else. I don't know why. DLC? Maybe? Hades 2? Maybe? I hope. Throughout the course of the game, you forge bonds with these characters while showering them with gifts for them helping, or in some cases hindering, your escape from the underworld. During each one of these cycles of going out, dying inevitably, and coming back to the House of Hades, you get to talk to these characters about something, or in the case of the Olympians, get talked at about something. They can't really hear you. It could be about something serious, like what's going on with them or you, or your quest to escape the underworld, or it could be something light, like something they were doing, or something you were doing that was just, you know, light and fun, or how you died. Again, to the same freaking boss for the 4th time in a row. I'm not salty. I'm not salty. It's always a delight to see a boon from an Olympian you like to talk to, or to get back to the House of Hades and see that cute fury that you like so much hanging out in the rec room, willing to chat for a bit. A few of my favorites include the carefree god of having a good time, Dionysus, the emotional rock for Zagreus, that is Achilles, and the aforementioned dominatrix of my heart, Megara. Though most of the characters are so fun to talk to that I don't usually mind who it is, as long as I get to talk to someone. Except for her. Unnamed Gorgons aside, I could go on for days about how much I love Poseidon's cool uncle energy, or how peeling back the layers of Artemis until she finally realized that you're a pretty cool dude is great. Or how Nyx is the mom I would have always wanted if I didn't already have a great mom. Love you, Mom. But I digress. The characters and interactions with said characters are just so much fun and full of life. But what about you? No, not you watching this. You're a soulless husk, devoid of charisma and talent. I'm talking about who you play as, Zagreus. That was me. Why did I write that? I don't know. It's right there. If you can read that. I don't know why. That's just mean. It's not. I don't even know if that's funny. I'm sorry. I'll keep it in though. He's got a great range of emotions, from the somber, more vulnerable moments where he's talking about his situation, his past, what he and other characters are going through. But he also has this great light levity that he brings to certain conversations, where he delivers some of the funniest lines in the entire game.
There's only one heavenly archer I know of. Well, several, really. Anyway, in the name of Hades, Olympus, I accept this message.
He's brought to life effortlessly by the longtime composer of Supergiant games, Darren Korb, who just brings this gentle jovialness that's just... Zagreus's interactions with the other characters just feel so nice and real and natural, and he usually brings this lighthearted touch to the end of each conversation. Unless he's talking to his dad, of course. Hades, unlike his son, is a staunch, uncaring pillar of authority that looms over the entirety of his realm. Which, by the way, makes it so much sweeter when you finally get closer and closer to showing him how wrong he really is. Hades is a callous and cold-hearted figure, although his relationship with his son might not be as irreparable as you might think, based on their interactions at the beginning hours of the game. He's a great antagonist and especially great motivator for those with daddy issues they want to work out by showing this virtual dad that they're better than he thought they were by beating the absolute crap out of them. Insert joke here is what I wrote on the script. Literally, can you see that? Insert joke here. Hades bad, the character, the dad. Hades bad dad, not the game. So, the characters are great, but I mentioned Pyre at the beginning of this video. It's an older Supergiant game, and it had great characters too. But what sets Pyre apart from Hades? Well, to get into that, we're gonna have to talk about Pyre. Pyre, as mentioned at the beginning of the video, shares a lot in common with Hades, insofar as the dialogue-driven character interactions that are the linchpin of both games. In Pyre, you build a ritual sports team that you learn to know and grow with throughout the course of the game, and I found myself making very genuine connections with these characters, to the point that when you complete the main objective of the game and help them break free of the realm you're all trapped in, it's genuinely sad to see them go. But the reason I haven't finished Pyre, even though I just told you I love these characters, just like the ones in Hades, is even though there's these amazing emotional pinnacle points of seeing them goodbye, and it's like, wow, this is what games are about, this is what art's about, that's awesome. It's the game itself that the window dressings of the art and music and story are all built around that sort of let me down. When actually playing the game of Pyre, you pick 3 members of your team and put them head-to-head against 3 members of one of the opposing teams who are all vying for their chance to escape the realm they're all trapped in, as I said. And it's not the worst game I've ever played, not by a long shot. Trust me, I've played MMOs. But its self-described mix of Dota and Rocket League just really failed to capture me, and it got really samey and repetitive, as each game was basically the same. Just run your little guy around and try to slam dunk into the enemy goal. Sometimes it was a little difficult, a little harder based on what they had, but it just wasn't there for me. And that really, really sucks, because every other aspect of Pyre is like so good, so good. I've already talked about the characters, but the sound, the art, the music just build this incredible world that I really want to get lost in. But the game just yanks me back out, and how just meh it was. I just wish there was a game out there that had the amazing art of Pyre, the awesome music composed by Supergiant Games, the characters I've been talking about, and a really stellar game underneath it all. Oh wait. Hades bridges that gap of amazing art and music and characters and sound with stellar roguelike gameplay. In the game, as I said before, you try to escape hell by climbing through the various parts of hell, well, a few of them. Tartarus, Asphodel, Elysium, and then finally getting up to the surface. And it is so much fun. You can pick from a variety of weapons, from a sword, a bow, a shield, a spear, gauntlets, even a friggin' gun. I don't like the gun that much. Some people do. My friend does. It's not for me. You might like it. I don't know. Some people like it. The game is really fast-paced, but also extremely snappy and responsive and readable. I always feel like I know what's going on, usually know what's going on during the game. The enemies are well telegraphed and feel really good to fight against, except for those friggin' shield dudes, okay? No one likes those shield dudes. The move where they jump forward and spin around. Oh God, I hate that move so much. Besides that, it feels really good to dash around, avoiding projectiles and dealing death through the chambers of hell. Alone, Zagreus would have a much harder time fighting through hell himself. Zagreus is helped by many different characters in the game, but none help him so directly as the gods of Mount Olympus, who all bring their own unique set of boons to aid him. These are your items in The Binding of Isaac. These are your cards and relics in Slay the Spire. They change your playstyle fundamentally every single time you run through hell. And seeing these builds come together is like half the fun. Some of my favorite boons in the game include the stacking DOT poisons of Dionysus, the emphasis of literally slamming enemies into walls from Poseidon, or Artemis's Call, which if you build it up over a fight, can literally unleash a volley of arrows and decimate bosses. It's just, ooh, it's so good. Ooh, it's so good. Ooh. Ooh, I'm making a bad face, but ooh, it's so good. Ooh. That doesn't look good. That doesn't look good. All the gods' boons are beneficial in their own way, and they all combine in a million different ways to have a million different unique runs. Some of the boons are even specific combo boons between two gods themselves, which initiates a fun back and forth between the two gods, and then you usually get a very run-defining special boon that's gonna change the run. for the better, usually. Hopefully. There's also a menagerie of meta progression systems that help you build up strength over the course of multiple runs, so you don't start from zero each time, including things like permanent buffs from Nyx's mirror, or small keepsakes you get from the characters you meet along the way. And there's also God mode, which makes Zagreus just stat-wise a little bit stronger each and every time he dies, which is great for players that want to experience the game on a more casual level, or games journalists. I'll have you know that I beat the game without God mode and got every single achievement because I'm a real man. Or so I tell myself. Hades is a game that literally has it all. Endearing characters, amazing, fun and engaging gameplay, awesome sound and art design. The music for which you've been hearing throughout this video is just, ooh, so good. It's a game that literally blew me away when I first started playing it at the beginning of this year. And I didn't put it down until I had almost beaten it in its entirety. In conclusion, Hades is an excellent game that I recommend to literally everyone. Buy it on sale, buy it not on sale, bum it off your friend's Steam library share. Do whatever you have to do to play this game because man, I friggin' love Hades.